Hey, what's up? It's Symphony here. Subscribe to my brother Mr. Creepy as Hell channel, and when you're watching his videos, make sure you stay in one piece.
If you ever go to a bar, make sure you go with friends, or if you happen to go to a bar by yourself, make sure it's a place where the bartender knows you, or you're familiar with the customers who come there every day, because you don't want to end up in a situation like me. For context, I'm a man, and what I'm about to share with you, I didn't think that this would happen to me. I actually thought this is something that can only happen to a woman, and this really scared me. I'm pretty sure there are guys out there who have the same exact story, but are too embarrassed to talk about it. Well, hopefully my story will change that. Anyway, this is what happened. This happened back in 2022, so roughly 2 years ago. I was just getting off for work. Work was really stressful that day. From a bunch of paperwork to my boss just keep on hounding me for every little small thing. You get where I'm coming from. It was really stressful. And when I clocked out at around 6:30 p.m., I was so happy. And I was even more happier because I had 3 days off. So I had a couple of days to recuperate and to just unwind and relax. I decided I was going to go home, take a quick shower, and then I was going to leave back out through an Uber because I wanted to go to a bar and get drunk and just forget about all the stress at my job. So that's what I did. I went home, took a shower, and I got dressed, and I got me an Uber, and I head to the bar. When I got there, it was a nice little atmosphere. They were playing country music, and there was a lot of people there. Not too much, but maybe around like 20 to 30 people there. I also wanted to note that this was a new bar that I walked into. The original one that I always go to was closed briefly because the owner of the place was having plumbing problems. So, unfortunately, I had to pick a different bar. But still, so far I liked this bar. I sat at the table, at a bar stool table, and I ordered me a drink. I was about 4 drinks in when this woman happened to catch my eyes. She was sitting right next to me. She was really attractive. And no, it wasn't because of the alcohol I was drinking. No, she really did look attractive. The first thing I noticed about her is her hair. It was dyed blue. She had on a crop top, and she had on a short skirt dress. She was also wearing glasses that really complemented her face. She also was pretty thick, but in a sexy way. That's all I'm gonna say about her. But believe me when I tell you, she really did caught my eyes. But I didn't want to say anything to her because I'm aware that a lot of women do not like guys approaching them or talking to them. So I didn't say anything to her. And besides, I really wasn't there to have a conversation with anyone or trying to hook up with a woman or anything. I just wanted to drink and forget about all the stress at my job. So I sat there, ordered me another drink. About 15 minutes later, I heard someone telling me, "Well, it looks like you had a really stressful day. You doing okay?" I looked up and I saw the woman with the blue dyed hair looking at me. But I looked around to make sure she wasn't talking to someone else. And then she said, "Hey, hello, I'm talking to you." Me? You're talking to me? I stuttered, pointing to myself, as I was shocked and drunk at the same time. "Of course I'm talking to you. Seems like you had a really rough day." "Oh yeah, it was a rough day. My boss just kept on nitpicking every little small thing I was doing wrong. He kept on yelling at me and taking his frustration out on me. I'm so glad I got 3 days off, so I decided to just come here and unwind and get a little drunk and forget about work for the next couple of days. So how about you? What brings you here?" "Pretty much the same thing. Work, stress. I just wanted to come here and unwind and get drunk too. Oh, and by the way, my name is Emily. What's yours?" "Oh, it's Howard." "Well, nice to meet you, Howard," Emily said to me while shaking my hands. After we got to know each other's names, we started to talk and have a really good conversation about things as we were drinking. We talked about politics, urban legends, conspiracy theories, and just other stuff that really interests us. We were really having a ball just talking, getting to know each other, laughing, enjoying each other's company. But before long, it was almost time for the bar to close. Now, I want to note that I was the one that had the most to drink, while Emily had maybe about 3 shots of alcohol in her. She was a little bit buzzed, but she was still all together. Me, on the other hand, I was super drunk. I couldn't even walk properly. But as I was trying to get up, I noticed something was off. I've drunken a lot before, but not too much to the point where it made me really drunk. I usually drink till I'm really buzzed, but I'm able to walk, just maybe with a little stumble. But I know I didn't have that much to drink to the point I was just drunk and couldn't barely walk. Something was really wrong, and that was red flag number 1. As Emily was helping me get up, she then asked me a question that became red flag number 2, but because I was so drunk, I didn't pay much attention to it, and I thought maybe I was about to get lucky. She asked me, "Well, it looks like you're really drunk. Look, I don't think it'll be safe for you to go back home by yourself, so I'm gonna take you home with me. Are you okay with that?" "Oh, well, sure. I don't mind going back to your place. I can get sober up a little bit. Appreciate it." Now, this was red flag number 2, and it was a really big one. Despite us hitting it off, and despite her feeling, comfortable enough to talk to me, I didn't think she was that comfortable enough to invite a stranger that she only knew for about a couple of hours back to her place, especially by her being a woman. I thought that was strange, but like I said, I was in a drunken state and I wasn't thinking clear. When we got to her place, her apartment was really dark. She put me towards the couch and she went into her room, I'm assuming, but the apartment was still dark. "Howard, stay right where you are. I have a nice surprise for you." "Oh, for real? You have a nice surprise for me? Oh, I can't wait. Take your time, I said, slurring my speech. For a moment, I thought maybe I was about to get lucky, and we were gonna, you get my point. But as soon as I tried to get up, after about 30 minutes, I noticed I couldn't really move. My legs felt stiff, and I started to feel even more dizzier than I did before coming into her apartment. The room started spinning, even though it was dark. I felt really nauseous, and the next thing I remembered, I blacked out. The next thing I remember, when I woke up, I was in the hospital. I had an IV pumping something out of my stomach, but I didn't know what it was. I looked around to see what was going on. Only thing I saw was a nurse looking at my vitals. She knows that I woke up, so then she immediately ran and got the doctor. "Well, welcome back, Mr. Howard. Seems that you finally recovered. That was a close one. You could have almost died." "Wait a minute, what are you talking about? What do you mean I almost could have died? How did I end up in a hospital? The last thing I remember, I was talking to this woman named Emily, and the only thing I remember, when I got to her place, I blacked out, and now I'm here. What's going on?" The doctor then called in an officer, and what the doctor and the officer told me really shivered me to the bones, and it made me very grateful that I was still alive. Apparently, this woman, Emily, was not her real name. She was a woman who's been known to set men up to get robbed. Apparently, when she took me to her place, there were 4 guys there, ready to rob me. And not only that, I found out that I was drugged as well. The officer suspected that Emily was the one that could have drugged my drink. The officer also explained the reason how they were able to find me, because there was a concerned neighbor that noticed something was off with me and Emily, and she called the cops on her. And so when the cops came, they busted down the door and they saw the men, well, one of them was about to kill me. And so they were able to arrest Emily and the 3 other guys and take them into custody. After the officer and the doctor told me that, I was really frightened. I really thought the woman was into me, but apparently she was just using me to set me up to get robbed and killed. My advice to you guys is stay vigilant. Always go to the bar with someone, and if you can't, go to a bar that you're familiar with, where the bartender knows you and the customers there are regular. That way, nothing like this won't ever happen again. I learned from my mistakes, and be honest with you, haven't stepped foot in the bar in about a year and a half.